We're a used record shop. We could say music, but I really don't do CDs. I really don't do anything but records. And it's, I'd say 99% used records from decades spanning the 1920s up till, you know, as brand new as you can get. But I don't really do anything from distributors. It's all stuff I acquire in the wild, as we call it, picking at people's houses, flea markets, garage sales, things like that. And then we bring them back here, we clean them up, we bag them up, and we price them appropriately and fairly, and then we resell. And then there's also gear all over the store, audio gear, amplifiers, cassette decks, turntables, and we do a lot of that as well. But what I'm most proud of is that I get high quality titles and I get them clean, and I only sell the cleaner stuff. If it's not clean, then I mark them down relatively cheaply. So you're gonna get a nice clean copy of whatever it is you're looking for here. That's really the crux of what I'm trying to do. It's been a lifelong endeavor. Since I was a little kid, I loved music, and started with some 8-track tapes I found in my grandmother's house, and my uncle was a big influence with cassette tapes he had and records. He was a big Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin fan, so I got into that early. So I started going to record stores regularly from 14 on, to the point where that's all I wanted to do. I'd work all weekend, make my money, and then go to the record store and buy a couple cassettes, a couple records, and swap with a friend. And then from there, I went to college, left the vinyl behind for a little bit, then got back into it like an addiction almost. I started going to Princeton Record Exchange down in Princeton, worked my way into a job there, worked there for 3 years, left, thought I was gonna grow up a little bit and do some responsible work, and the record thing just never left me. I went to college at Rutgers. When I graduated, I always liked to work for myself. So I started DJing. I had my own rig, turntables, sound system and all that, and it was freelance. That was really the era of building my collection. I was, by the time I left Princeton in 2000 and was DJing less, I probably had 8,000, 9,000 records of my own, of all sorts. When the DJing started to fall out from under me, around maybe, I'd say 2005, 2006, it started to get really tedious. I started really selling off the records. That was when I was like, you know what? I'm not a DJ anymore. Now I'm a vinyl vendor full on. I'd already been doing eBay for 5 years at that point, but I really started doing it. So I started doing 40, 50 auctions a week, 50, 60 auctions a week for a while, and I was making my money that way. And so the DJing segued directly into the selling because I had all the stuff already. In the first few years of doing it, I didn't have to go out and buy a single record. It was all in my basement. So it worked really well. And the DJing also opened me up to so many different kinds of music. You know, I would learn so much from the kids coming to see me. I say kids, but it could be anywhere from 21 to 40. Coming to see me and telling me, this record, you gotta play this record. So that continued on for a long time. I was learning stuff from other people, and it was fantastic. And if I can give that back to kids today, when they come in here, I could say, oh, well, you like the Stones. Yeah, you might know, the 70s stuff, but check out Beggar's Banquet from 68 or 69, whatever year that was, and it's like, you gotta hear this. And I might have it clean for $5. They can take it home, and the smiles on their faces when they do. They're so excited about it. It's actually been interesting because even in the first couple weeks, I've had a couple customers, young folks, college age, 18, 19, who are coming in just getting started, and you can see in their eyes the way I used to feel that they're just like a clean Led Zeppelin to them is the greatest thing, and it makes me so happy. Over the last 2 years, I got a bug in my head saying, I gotta find something more stable where I can invite my clients in, because I built up a pretty decent client base of people who come to me specifically for interesting pieces. And I wasn't sure I wanted to have a shop. I was still thinking it'd be a nice clean storage space. I can invite people in and have a couch and they can sit and have a cup of coffee. But then as I started to build it, the shelves got nicer, the floor got nicer, the signs got nicer. And I said, you know what, I'm doing it. I'm gonna do a real record store. But getting the material, because I don't go through distributors, I rely on people like the viewers here who have records in their house that they forgot about, records in their attic, grandma's old records, their son's records who went off to college. So the space is open for that. They can call me, I can be emailed, make an appointment, bring your stuff in. For bigger collections, I travel all over the country. I've been to Chicago, I've been to North Carolina, I've been to Massachusetts and Maine. I go all over the place, and always looking to buy records, always. And audio gear, turntables, receivers, amplifiers, speakers. I'll look at anything, There's different genres that are hot from time to time. I would say right now, rock is a great thing. Classic rock, heavy metal, punk rock, Funk and soul's always good. I do a lot of business in that. Jazz is great. I love to buy jazz records. Soundtracks, I have a section that everybody laughs at when they see it called Soundtracks No Junk, meaning you're not going to see South Pacific in there or West Side Story. As wonderful as those musicals are, those records are a dime a dozen. But you'll see Alfred Hitchcock soundtracks in there. You'll see strange things. So I do buy a lot of soundtracks too if they're the right stuff. I have a weird and strange section for things like Barnes and Barnes, comedy records, and then the old Enoch Light, Space Age, Bachelor Pad stuff. What else do I have? If you look around, there's blues is a great genre, reggae is a great genre, world music. I love the Latin stuff. So I buy almost anything with a caveat of sellers need to understand that not all records are great records. But in any collection, there could be a great record. So I'll look at anything. I've cleared out entire houses full of stuff. I really appreciate you guys coming today. This is nice. And you know, if anybody out there wants to come by and see me, if the light's on, come on in. I have an open sign. You'll see it glowing in the dark. And I have a sign on my door. I'm going to try to be here as much as I can. And eventually there will be regular hours. But it's a one-man show at this moment. Hope to open up more consistently. Come on and say hi. We have a couch, we have air conditioning, we have water, and we have coffee.